It's a conversation that has been going around all over the country.
And so what it is to bring attention to a dark chapter in the history of Anderson County, South Carolina. And if you think it's just confined to the South, you would be sadly mistaken.
Getting involved in projects like this, it brings cultural awareness. It helps people in other places understand that Anderson County is a place who is willing to acknowledge its past.
And so this is to A, let people know about it, B, provide a remembrance, something that people can tangibly feel and note the locations where this occurred. This has been done in Abbeville County. There is a marker right in front of the Abbeville County Courthouse.
When we fail to deal with our demons, when we fail to deal with our unresolved issues, they always come back to haunt us. Whether it's in our generation or in a generation after us, when you begin to talk with people in the community, in the various communities or towns around Anderson County, you'll begin to learn that oral tradition, word of mouth, that some of these stories have been passed along and preserved.
There have been 5 sites that have been identified by people within the Remembrance organization, and they're working on those sites and maybe having one site that somewhat represents through markers the other 5 sites.
Understanding our history is vital because our history makes us who we are today. And so I think that all of those are steps that we're hoping to make in this project.
Publicly recognizing it, nationally collecting soil and sending it to the museum in Birmingham so that can be nationally recognized. Hopefully having some of those soil samples that from the 5 sites here locally.
We've heard a lot of that lately about saying individuals' names, and I think that only the forgotten are truly dead. And so we don't forget those individuals. Mr. Edward Sullivan, Mr. Elbert Harris, Mr. John Laddison, Mr. Reuben Elroyd, and Mr. Willis Jackson.
For me, I thought it was a time for us to understand that this happened in our community. I think the biggest thing is just talking about how do we go forward. I mean, just the education piece, not recognizing that it happened, how it happened, but how do we start talking about the dialogue of why it happened and why it's important to remember that segment of our past.